Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Sisters. We are on season 6, episode 19, entitled Dear Karma. So we're going to jump right into it. Last episode, we left off with the barbecue from hell. Essentially, Jordan's sister, Penelope, finally wrote down her name. Penelope showed up. She's pregnant. She's gleaming. She is bragging about her oh so great fiance. Said fiance happens to be shitbag named Gary. Also, all right, so she's chomping at the bit. She want to tell the girl the information, and so the girls are having a little powwow, and Miss Penelope walks up on them and asks them like, what, who, what, when, where, why, and how, like what's going on. So that's where we pick up at the beginning of episode 19. And she's walking up on the girls and she's talking about, needing to know what the hell we talking about. What is it about Gary that I need to know? Blah, 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 blah. And Danny is basically trying to backpedal. I don't know if she's trying to spare the girl's feelings or she's trying to just avoid the conversation at this point. But she's telling the lady, like, listen, I can't tell you that. That's not my place. That's not my place. She's refusing to tell the girl. And the lady is in absolute tears trying to get her to tell her what she needs to know. And it was pissing me off because Andy, at this point, it's too late. We're too far gone. You need to tell her. Like, there's no such thing as a place when it comes to you doing what is right. And that's just my opinion. That would be the right thing for you to do for this lady. And so, your place. Gary doesn't have a place. He don't give a damn who he hurt and who's left in the carnage. So I don't know why you still trying to spare him. It's giving that a little bit, but we'll get into it, throughout the episode. And she is literally begging Andy to tell her, like, what is it that I need to know? Like, come on, girl, like, give me what I need. Like, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to talk about it later. I don't care about whose place it is. What's going on? And so she was like, listen, and Sabrina and Danny are like pretty much with Penelope, like, hey, you just tell her what she deserves to know. Like, she want to know, tell her, what's going on. And so Andy tells her that she thought her and Gary had something special. And that kind of gives me a little bit of tinge of, trying to hold out a little bit of hope type shit. But she thought that they would, basically everything she thought Gary was going to give her, he had already given to Penelope. The baby, the family life, the ring, all this good stuff. And I don't know why that is a prize when, like you said, towards the end of the episode, like, listen, this man was married when I met him, and hell, this could very well be my karma because I was, he was sleeping with me when he was married to old girl. And so this should tell you that this ain't no prize to aspire to when it comes to Gary, right? But we'll talk about the whole marriage thing again by the end of this segment, but let me go ahead and finish out my little notes before I lose my place. Anyway, and Penelope goes to ask him, like, hey, how long ago did you break it off with him? She realizes they were trying to work it out. It didn't work out, whatever. She tells the girl that they broke up about a week ago because it just wasn't working out. And I don't think that there was anything to work out because let's think about it. Gary had like the FBI or whatever was got down on her because of some financial stuff that Gary was into. Gary's ex-wife almost took her off the face of the earth. There's just a lot of things. Ain't that much forgiveness in nobody's spirit. But there's just a whole lot of things that came with Gary, and so a ring should have been the last thing on your list of things to aspire to when it came to that person. Penelope is kind of putting it together, and she's still in things and realizing that he was leading a double life, like being with both of them at the same time. And she pretty much almost slips into denial. She was like, are you sure? And Andy's like, no, girl. Like, she did do good to not let Penelope slip into like the denial of this facade of what she believes Gary to be. And so Danny tells her, like, listen, the ring he proposed, just to kind of bring it home, like, girl, no, we not just trying to hate on you or nothing. The ring that he gave you is the ring that he proposed to Andy with. Andy said no, gave it back to him. Well, initially she said yeah, but gave it back to him, and now it is your engagement ring. Just to kind of, bring the point home, like, this joker ain't nothing. And so And then so Penelope, coming back to her senses and realizing, granted, this lady is 7 months pregnant. I know I said 6 months last episode, but I don't think it had been confirmed. This episode confirmed that she's 7 months pregnant. Penelope is sitting here thinking that she recalls him being on the phone with one of his coworkers named a guy named Andy, and maybe he does have a coworker named Andy again. Andy's telling her, no, I'm the Andy he was talking to, sis. Like, no, it's not it. And then Andy leans in and realizes, like, hey, are you wearing some name of a perfume? She was like, yeah, how do you know that? Oh, he bought me the same perfume from Paris. They say Paris at the same time. So we realize, like, his scheme is consistent. His scheme is, he got his method down pat as far as buying the house, the living arrangement, the car, the perfume, all these things. And, somebody will give him some kudos. I won't be giving it to him. Somebody would give him kudos for, being consistent and not getting mixed up on that aspect. But I don't give a damn. The only thing that I wish had happened in this scene, since we're here, let's go there. And by that, again, you don't know your next opportunity to talk to this lady. And we already passed the Band-Aid. We already ripped the Band-Aid off. The hair is already stuck to the Band-Aid. Let's go ahead and take the scab off as well. And by that, I mean, it was too easy for Gary to come in the next scene and tell her, like, hey, she was just a mistake. She was just a side piece. She was just a really huge mistake that I made. She don't really mean. It was easy for him to undo a lot of what Andy said. Listen to me. I'm just follow what I'm saying, right? Don't yell at me. Follow what I'm saying. What I am saying is Andy should have gave her everything. Like, boom. This is his wife. I think he had like 2 other wives or something prior to this. Blam, bam. This wife, she almost tried to kill me for being with him. Like, paint it all because you already here. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you got text messages, videos, vacations. Y'all got all the stuff that comes with being in and out with this man for years. All just like Penelope. And so I'm going to give you everything. The townhouse he bought me is over here by the office. I don't think he wanted to be close to home because, girl, you over here at the home. And this is the Bentley. This is the deed and the top. Like, all of this would have been. I'm not saying that she has that paperwork on hand, but what I would give her is a full picture that would be hard to undo. For example, he could easily say, hey, yeah, we had something, back in the day, or however he can minimize it. And yeah, I took the ring back from her, but, I thought it better suit someone like you, because he is painting Penelope to be marriage material and painting Andy out to be just a side piece, right? And so some of these bras is willing to believe it, like, oh, he was just over there having fun with you until he decided where he wanted to be. He done picked me, whoop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doo. I don't know. I'm just saying I would have painted it a little bit more sinister because it is. It's not just a mishap. It's not just an overlapping, in timelines. It's a consistent effort to play these ladies for your own gratification. Long and short, I ain't nobody's technical girl, why can't I say expert? I ain't nobody's technical what? I am no one's technical expert, but y'all be overusing the word narcissist, but it's giving very much of that. It's giving that if you go read the girl, slow down. If you go read the dictionary definition, it's given Gary's picture is gonna be over there, or whatever his real name is. Well, maybe that's the real person. I don't know. Whatever, Gary. All right. Then. So remember, whole time guys were outside putting out a fire on the barbecue grill or whatever. So they come back in, crisis averted. We didn't put the fire out. What's up, ladies? What's going on? And so the guys finally scroll back into the house, and Jordan sees that his sister is upset. And he wants to know, like, what's wrong with my sister? Because same, why my sister look like she been crying, and she's in this room with y'all. What the fuck y'all finna piss me off? I'm about to get mad over a situation that has not even happened to my sister, but don't play with me with my sister. Anyway, he sees that his sister is upset, and now the girls tell him, he's like, listen, somebody gotta tell me what's going on. Everybody else is dumbfounded. And again, Danny is going, let's facilitate it. Gary, come on to the middle and explain exactly what's going on and why we upset. Because obviously he knows that they done told the girl what's going on. And so he's telling Danny, well, hey, weren't you about to leave? Like, you need to be quiet. This is a private matter. Basically, again, giving them narcissistic tendencies, trying to remove Penelope from the situation. Hey, Penelope, let's go outside. Let's talk. This is a private matter. And Gary tells him, like, listen. Danny tells him, like, listen, Gary, this ain't private. You've been doing enough private talking and chit-chatting. Stand here in the middle of the sister circle and tell us what the fuck is going on. Again, Danny, a woman after my own heart. Like, explain what's going on while we out here at the dinner table. What's going on? And so this is the scene. He gets a little sassy with Danny, and Danny just is like, listen, all right, boom. I'm gonna go ahead and go there. Since you won't get jazzy with me, I'm gonna tell you. And she pretty much tells everybody, gets everybody caught up on what's going on and what's been happening. And we also found out in this scene that Penelope is 7 months pregnant with Gary's big-headed ass baby. The baby ain't do nothing to me. It's just Gary has a big head and I don't like him. And Jordan is trying to kick off in his ass, and I was hoping they'd let that happen because you deserve it. I said it. I meant it. Everybody be like, I don't promote violence in certain situations. I do. You should have got your ass kicked. Anyway, and so all the men are, pretty much pissed. They want a piece of Gary. And Tony, which is Danny's quote unquote guy, right? In this three-way thing. Not the three-way, six-way. In this little powwow that they got going on, Tony is Danny's co-worker and he likes her. Tony tells Gary, like, listen, he is offended because they went out on a limb to let Gary in their bromance, for lack of a better term. So Tony, the other guy, and Jordan are pre-existing friends, and so Gary has convinced him that he's a nice guy and he believes in the same values and principles that they believe in. All the things that they were telling the girls on their dates. Is what they really believe. And so when they invite a man into the space, they are operating on the assumption that he has the same values, same belief, and Gary has painted that picture to them. All the while, he been over here lying, scheming, and doing everything else to one of the bromance buddies' sister. And so everybody want to kick off in your ass because you just playing a very much dangerous game for your own gratification, your own satisfaction, because if it ain't going to appease you, what the hell is we doing it for, right? Right. Now, in this next scene, sorry, I have to take a deep breath because if I get worked up, I'll start talking real fast and real country from deep down in the woods where I'm from, and you won't understand what I'm saying. So I have to take a deep breath and maintain myself. In this scene, Gary pissed me off so bad. I was 38, baby. I was spitting fire. So Gary is between tears. He is trying to explain himself to Penelope. Everybody's still there. Nobody's moved. Claiming that he never loved Andy. Right? Bought her the same things. Treated her the same way you would treat Penelope. Also, if you think about it, treated her better than Penelope because you bought Penelope an apartment. You bought Andy a townhouse. You bought Penelope a Corolla or whatever the hell the car is. You bought Andy a Rolls Royce for you to claim her to be a side piece. And she never mattered to him. And so in this scene, he reduces Andy to being only a side piece and not being marriage material. Granted, again, you wanted to, last season, you put together a surprise wedding to go with your surprise proposal because she's not marriage material. Stop playing in these people. I'm about to get pissed. Stop playing in this girl's face, right? And luckily Penelope is not buying it. Like you can see her face soften a little bit, but she doesn't buy it and she slaps him in the face. You should have kicked him in the nuts just to seal it for me. But she slaps him in the face. And he's again trying to give any last ditch efforts to tear apart their story. You don't even know these girls and you gonna believe them. Blase, blase, blah. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And so the guy's asking like, hey, Gary, cut it out. You can go ahead and head out. And he storms out, because he leaves because you don't have anything else to say to these people at this point. And so, the dinner party / barbecue is over with. And now we need to go back to our lives and figure out what the hell is going on. All right. Maurice is at the club, having the time of his life. So he meets up with his little fishnet friend. He wearing these fishnet tops in every scene, and he reminds him that he needs to. The friend reminds Maurice that he needs to be celebrating everything that he just gained back. You know, employment, freedom, most importantly, and whatever. So he's having a time in his life, and a dude spots him and walks up to him, and he says he knows Maurice from the bank. And for me, baby, we are too fresh off a cue. That would have been all the warnings I needed, and I just would have had to not even deal with it, because something about his story was giving sketchy. He knows Maurice from the bank and claims that he didn't come talk to him at the bank before now because he was in a relationship. Now he's single. Dude also says that he's part of the community, but he didn't frequent these types of bars. He just happened to stumble up on the place because he was bored. And, you know, glanced across the room and saw Maurice, and he just had to come talk to him. Again, it's getting a little far-fetched. Anyway, he offers it, but he also offers to go take a walk because they need someplace quiet to talk because he, you know, it's too much going on in here. And Maurice is like, you know, he doesn't bite. Of course, at the end of the scene, we know that he really wanted to do it, wanted to knock his boots, but he's trying to do something different because maybe he learned some lessons when it came to Q. And so he gives Maurice his number, and I'm sure that that's not the last we're going to see an old boy that's in the community that I don't really think is in the community. It's giving, I don't know, it's given, we know Maurice might be an easy mark because he just folds for these men, and we might end up repeating some stuff, but I hope not, but it's given probable. Anyway, Fatima is attempting to sleep, and so she sits up and sees that Zach is not even laying down to attempt to get any rest. She wakes up to keep him company because he can't sleep. His son is on his mind very heavy. And he is so upset about the situation that Michael is in. He can't believe that he could possibly attempt to sleep not knowing where his child is sleeping, you know, in the condition that his child is in. Honorable. We'll take it. And he's just anxious for morning to hurry up and come so he can go check on his son. He wants to try to do things the legal route this time, just to not do anything to, you know, put in danger what he is trying to put in place as far as getting, I was about to say ownership. That's not the word. Custody. Getting custody of his son, right? And so they're sitting there talking, and he is so outdone with the fact that he was drunk. He was drunk out of his, he was pissy drunk. That's just, he was pissy drunk. He spent 5 minutes with the girl. He tells him, listen, it was only 5 minutes that I was with Heather. And he only did it because he was mad at Karen, which that's the dumbass reason. He wanted to feel good. He wanted to get back at her, even though they had fight number 1,672 that they've had in and out that relationship. And he goes on to tell her, and Fatima's like, so you went back there and you raw dogged a stripper in the VIP section of the club. And he was like, yeah, it was just, and she was like, so you had money to go to the VIP section? He was like, yeah, I had $20. And she was like, so let me get this right. So you and Karen were on a little pseudo breakup after an argument, and you raw dogged this girl for $20 in the VIP section. You know, trying to make light of it, but he can't even remember finishing. Like, that's how hectic that situation was. And he just has to keep grappling with the fact that all of this, 5 minutes of your life leads you to a situation where you now have a child that you have to be responsible for, and you are stuck with this person as a parent. And I think I said it last episode, but we have to be careful about who we are having children with, who we are procreating with, who we nutting in. I just can't say it no better. Y'all gotta be careful because y'all don't be knowing who y'all end up stuck with. Y'all don't be knowing these people well enough. Like, you met this girl that night, drunk out your mind, child, and just throwing caution to the wind. And then when you come down off of all that stuff, you gotta deal with all the chaos that will soon ensue. And so just be careful. Y'all be careful out there in these streets. Y'all be careful. And take this as a lesson. Take this as a warning that Mr. Perry is trying to portray to us, my people in particular, because that's all that I give a damn about. Okay? All right. Gary shows up at Hayden's, and he's telling his version of what happened at the barbecue. And, again, pissed me off again, because he goes on to call Penelope some woman that he was dealing with. Not a fiance, not his child's soon-to-be child's mother. Calls her some woman that he was dealing with. And I'm sitting here looking like, who the hell is you? Who are you talking to? Some woman that he was dealing with. That is what he calls her. And claims that he's also living in a delusion that he still has a decision to make between the two women because he likes the both of them, but he's also worried because there's a baby that's involved that could become a legal issue, which is why he's there to get Hayden's opinion. And Hayden doesn't really have much advice or insight to give Gary other than, you got money, right? Yeah, I got some money. Okay. You know what to do. So it's giving, oh, Penelope won't be that much of a problem when it comes to your child because you have money, which equals power in this raggedy ass country. So you really don't have that much of a problem. That's what I took from it. If y'all saw something different with that, y'all tell me in the comments. But it gave, oh, you got the money to hire the best and the brightest to, do what you need to do for that child or get done what you think needs to happen with said child. So it's not going to be a big deal. In between that, he's trying to bring Hayden down off his little marital bliss. Trying to downplay Tamara, saying that she don't want him. He's like, listen, I know you're going through right now, but you're not going to, intercept everything that I got going on. So you can go ahead and just go ahead and head out. And so he's going to go ahead and shoo him away. All right. So the girls show up at Karen's to brief her on everything that has transpired. And Andy is clearly so outdone with everything that just went down. She is detached. I mean, staring off into the distance. She is dazed. She is, let me see. I'm trying to see how to explain it because I ain't been in the situation that Gary put you in, but I've been so overwhelmed with emotion that I felt none of them. And so the only thing you can do is just sit there and look off into space and try to pull for words while being speechless. And I hope that makes sense, but that is where Andy is, where it's like, just like, this can't be my in life. This can't be me. And it really is, and now we have to deal with it. And so, she tells Danny, like, it feels like she's rubbing it in. And, I can see, where she might think that that's the case, or she might feel that way. And then she goes on to tell Karen all of it, everything that just happened. And Karen reminds Andy that all of this is just another example of the piece of shit that Gary is. It's not any insight into who you are, the value that you have to bring to somebody that's going to appreciate it. It's just another confirmation that Gary ain't shit. And best piece of advice I've ever heard Karen give to anybody. However, I also see how it is hard for Andy to separate the two when this has been the majority. Like, this man was with this girl most days for years while holding down a wife or soon to be ex-wife or whatever lie he was telling her, while now holding down a fiance. And you sitting here thinking like, well, damn, maybe I might be a side piece. Like, you was over here, tiptoeing over him when you had a wife. Now you tiptoeing over him when you have a fiance, and none of these are titles that you wanted to bestow upon me. Girl, why the fuck do you want the title? Like, you saw what he did with the other women that held these titles. That ain't no title I want to hold. Anyway, she's somehow taking it to heart. Him saying that she meant nothing and that she wasn't marriage material. And then so the girls have to kind of, take that out of her mind, let her know that that's not the case. Gary's the problem. It ain't you. And then she realizes that it might be her karma because he was married when they were together. And he used to cheat on his wife with her. And I'm not going to hold you. I kind of agree. Hear me out. I kind of agree that some of this is yours to carry. Simply because people can do what you allow them to do. Because, there was a point where you did not know that this man was married. And then there becomes a point where he's married and he claims he's in the process of being separated and getting divorced or whatever, they tell you. And then there becomes a point that you learn about the wife and you are still in relationship with this person. So everything after you can confirm and know that this man has a wife is your cross to bear. That's my opinion. We can fight about it in the comments. Let's do it. But, and so whatever comes as an outcome, you knowingly or unknowingly signed up for it. Now, I'm not saying to the full extent with the fiance. I'm just talking about the wife's situation. After you knew that man had a wife, there would have been nothing else that we have to talk about. Even I'm the type of person, when I was dating, child, if you sign on people's paper at that courthouse and you ain't signing divorce papers, we have nothing to talk about, because people make up and break up every day. People get back together every day, and you don't want to convolute the situation by inserting yourself based on one person's side. I have even asked people, hey, you said you separated. Let me talk to your wife. Let me see her input. And I talked to some wives, and they be like, yeah, I'm not getting back with that fool. Or, this is a financial arrangement, or whatever it is that person is going to tell you. But even then, you still have to tread lightly, because people make up every... Hey y'all, sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulties. The battery died, and it's a whole nother day, so I just wanted to come in and finish up the review very quickly. Like I was saying in the end of the last clip, people say what they want to say. You kind of got the gist of what I was trying to say there. Karen suggests that they offer Andy an out because she knew that he was going through a divorce. Again, until that's settled, don't get involved with that. Karen suggested they take a break from dating, and maybe that'll, kind of help them out. And Danny reminds them that, hey, Andy, you have a choice in this. Karen, you're kind of forced to do it because you're knocked up. So, the circumstances are a little bit different. Danny reminds her that that she's going to let Gary miss a chance to get to... Well, what Danny was telling Andy here is, hey, I know you want to go on a sabbatical, and everything else with Karen, but what you don't want to do is miss out on the opportunity to get to know Jordan just because of the bullcrap that Gary got going on. And, I could agree, but I don't think she was ever really over Gary, so, maybe taking a break is in Andy's best interest, because she, was living in this dream world of thinking of what she thought she was going to get from Gary, which she has now confirmed for the umpteenth time that she's never going to get. So then there's that. And so, which further confirms like the venom that he was spitting when he was telling Penelope that she wasn't nothing, she didn't mean nothing, was just that much more intentional, because Danny reminds me, like, hey, he was probably even saying all that stuff just to make sure, to poison your mind against trying to give Jordan a chance, and, trying to get in the mix of that, which is a two-edged sword. He want to try to get back with Penelope while also preventing you from getting with Jordan. So, just be careful with your intentions on deciding to abstain from men, I guess, child. Anyway, at the end of this, Michelle calls Fatima, much like they did in the preview in the last week's episode, and tells her that she needs to get over there now. There are ambulances everywhere, and she knows that it has to be something bad. Unfortunately, we don't get to see what the issue is, but we do see in the next episode that Heather threatens to call the cops if they don't get out of there. But it appears that she might be the one that's injured this time, which might mean the men that they got in trouble last time with the phone call probably came back to get some vengeance out of Heather's ass. But those are kind of games you play. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So I don't feel bad for Heather at all. That's it. That's all. That's been season 6, episode 19. Let me know what you think about the episode in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.